but it's not so that's not a bad spot. I'm not necessarily a day trader or a swing trader. I mean, here's Spotify. I mean, and a lot of people will say, "Well, I want to hold stocks for positions," or so how does this help me, right? So Spotify, this is a stock I think I mentioned. I bought it at 197 or so. So how does this this kind of this concept yeah, help? Um, and I've got the question. Well, this is the weekly chart of Spotify, and obviously this past year we had it sliced. Some pretty heavy, significant pullback moves. Um, went from 660 to just about 480 or so, and slicing through the 50-day moving average, slicing through the 65 moving average. And if you use the moving average, you would have lost this position, right? Because you're selling either here, or maybe you ride the first one out, but then you're certainly selling it again right here. But what I'm looking at is, okay, where is a significant level of demand? And if you look, where did this price launch for? It's got this base right here, and you're going to retest. This is the rung on the ladder that I'm concerned that I want to see. I want to see hold, not the moving average that really isn't much in the way of actual support. It's this area where all this trading was feel comfortable enough to get enough demand to launch it, into the 700s or 600s before its recent move. So, you look at where did that kind of that pivot happen, like we're holding here. It might have, and this is that day where we had that big reversal, but it might have opened right below, but it immediately, has that demand. So I'm able to keep that position. Now, if I would have if it would have started building below this land, I would have sold the position if it, were fading down, beyond that. But so that's, I guess, an example that I'm still holding this position, but why or how I use these and why I'm still able to stay in this position, even though it slices through all your 50-day moving average or 60-day moving average or whatever, they're, kind of, um, you know, I guess
Levels, yeah,
yeah, level or trend follow. Trend followers, would
rules.
typically use that as a rule and they'd be out. But to me, this important level was never violated. Core. I know we talked a little bit. I kind of preluded this is one of my bigger trades this year, but I actually pull it off. So if you study IPOs, you recognize that kind of this level of where an IPO base is at or where they're able to hold has a lot of significance. So an undercut of that level, and you get your kind of your hourly, this is a significant pivot level wherever, and they were obviously holding it throughout, that initial pullback.